Hey guys, this is my Makeout 2014 finale. I realized that I didn't actually film any other Makeout 2014 videos. I just started filming late in the year. By the time I started filming, I was actually pretty much counting down and wrapping up Makeout 2014. But I did learn quite a few things, and I thought that you might still be interested in maybe some of the things I learned, some of the things that didn't go quite as well for me as I thought they would, and yeah, kind of set us up for Makeout 2015. I am going to do a Makeout 2015. I definitely put my own rules on things, which I always think you should do. I think trying to live up to someone else's rules or someone else's expectations, especially in something like this, isn't necessarily helpful to you or anybody else. Everybody's different and everybody has their own quirks and their own things. And so I definitely think that if you do try to do something like this, that you tailor it to yourself. And let it be okay if you just fail at it. Because you typically, if you put yourself out there and try something and you do fail, you typically learn from it, which is kind of what happened to me this year. I don't think that I necessarily failed. I just didn't do nearly as well as I thought that I would. I have been working on trying to reduce the amount of makeup that I have in my collection since probably 2012. I lost focus on that in 2013. I was planning my wedding. I had 1,000,005, literally, probably. I had so many things going on in 2013 that just kind of fell by the wayside. So I picked back up on it in 2014. I laid out some rules and some guidelines for myself. That's kind of where I'm at now. 2014 was the first year that I had actually sat down, analyzed my collection, and really thought about each individual aspect of my collection separately. And I think that was really helpful for me. One of the things I have way too much of, and I'm still struggling with how to reduce this, is eyeshadow. I have so many eyeshadows. My mom likes to buy me palettes. I like to buy palettes. If you, and you know, once you have like 2 or 3 palettes, you usually have pretty much all you need. So I'm still kind of struggling with that. I was actually on an eyeshadow no-buy for the past 3 years. I've been on an eyeshadow no-buy. I did not succeed. I did give in. I ended up buying 3 palettes. 2 of them were really inexpensive, just little cheap things. And then I ended up giving in and getting the electric palette just because I didn't have anything like that in my collection, and I justified it with that. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. It's what it is. It's what it is. So basically how I went about it was I wrote down literally every category. I had eyeshadow, lipstick, lip gloss, skincare. I just broke it down into categories, and I did go through and count what I had and did an inventory. That's a little bit obsessive, and I think that you can either take that or leave it. I like to count things. I have always liked to count things. I like to count things, so that was fun for me. But if you're not into counting, you know, skip it. But I did go ahead and do that just to kind of give me an idea. I wanted to give myself a definite starting point and to see where I ended up. I did make some categories. I did make no-buy categories. Like eyeshadow was a no-buy category. Lipstick ended up being, if I used 4 lipsticks, I could buy a new lipstick because it wasn't outrageous. Blush, I didn't have any blushes that I was in love with in my blush collection, so I said, you know what, if I want to try some blushes, I can buy blushes. My makeup brush collection actually was pretty crappy, so I allowed myself to buy makeup brushes this year. Had a lot of skincare products, a lot of moisturizers. I can't really use a lot of them, so my deal was kind of find those simple, gentle products that you can use all of the time, that are go-to products, then start using up some of the things in your collection. So I just had a bunch of different rules for each category, and I like that because I feel like saying I'm gonna makeup no-buy is not realistic for me. Makeup is a hobby. I enjoy it, and to limit it completely and say I can't buy anything new is just too strict. And I don't really have any desire to stick to that. I just want to keep my collection from getting out of control. And I don't want to let products expire and get old and unusable before I can get to them. For the sake of the length of the video, and considering this is more of a wrap-up video for me, I'm not going to go through each and every category, but I did count out some things, and what I found was kind of interesting. Like, basically all I did was maintain my collection, which is positive, but I didn't really get rid of anything. Like foundations, I started the year with 18, I ended up with 17. Eyeshadows, I couldn't figure out how I counted these at the beginning of the year, so when I went to count them again, the numbers were all like confused because I have eyeshadows, I have singles, quads, I have pigments, I have eyeshadow creams, I have cream eyeshadows, and I have palettes. So I have no idea how I counted them at the beginning of the year versus when I counted these again. I did count this stuff again in October just because I know the holidays for me are extremely hectic and I wouldn't have time to like sit around and count makeup. So in January, I had 51 eyeshadow products. In October, I have 53. I mean, the list is basically like this all the way through. Mascara, I had 16. Now I have 50. Then I had 15. Lip glosses, I started with 14. I ended up with 30. But I found like a whole gift set of Tarte lip glosses. I knew that I had them, but I think that I forgot to count them when I was counting my stuff at the beginning of the year. And I mean, that was basically the whole thing. Concealers, I went from 8 to 7. Finishing powders, I went from 7 to 8. Primers, I went from 4 to 6. I mean, the list goes on, and they're basically the same numbers. You know, if I went down one in one category, I went up one in another. So basically I did accomplish two things. One, I did kind of get my makeup more together, so I did learn that I don't know how to count makeup. I did maintain my collection and I kept it at the same, so it didn't grow, which is, you know, good. I can respect that. It wasn't exactly what I was like shooting for, but you know, it didn't actually get bigger, so that's exciting. And within that, I did manage to get rid of a lot of old product. Going through my makeup collection now and at the beginning of the year, although I've sort of replenished probably when I shouldn't have replenished, I would say like the average age of my makeup collection is so much newer. I got rid of so many things that were older. At the beginning of the year when I was looking through my makeup collection, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I really have to use some of this stuff. It's like getting old and I really need to get through it and use it up, and I have so much less of that feeling now. I feel like I really did succeed in doing that, and so I'm proud of myself for succeeding in that area. Also, when I counting your makeup's actually pretty hard, and those of you who have tried it and then try to go back and recount it, it's the first time you count isn't that hard, but the second time you count, you know, you have so many samples and deluxe samples and, you know, full-size products, and it's too much of a pain, at least for me anyways, to separate out each. You know, am I going to put eyeshadow singles, eyeshadow duos, eyeshadow trios? You know, it's kind of hard to count your makeup. But one of the things that I do know to be true, I signed up for, I'm currently getting 3 subscription boxes a month. I know I need to cut that. I need to cut it down, but I'm kind of weighing between 2 of them right now, and I'm just going to play a little game. Whoever sends me the best box for the next maybe 3 months, I'm going to unsubscribe to one, keep the other. I enjoy getting that surprise every month. I like getting the samples. I like trying new products. But, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like they kind of get same old, same old. The reason I'm telling you that is because a lot of my products now are small. A lot of the products I got rid of were like full-size products that took me a long time to get through. When I say, you know, I have 16 mascaras, a lot of them are this kind of deluxe sample size. I go through these I go through these pretty fast. Every mascara I have acquired within the last year. So I went through 16 mascaras last year. So even though my numbers are the same, the amount of product I have is probably quite a bit less because the products are actually smaller. So that's exciting to me because I don't really care unless I'm in love with something. I don't really ever even care to have like the ginormous size of it because I tend to get bored and want to like move on to something else anyways. Another positive for Makeout 2014 was that I really, putting myself on no buys in certain categories really helped me to round out my collection. I love eyeshadow. I've always loved eyeshadow. When all else fails and I want a new makeup product, I tend to reach for eyeshadows. Well, this year, being on an eyeshadow no-buy forced me to kind of branch out and work on other aspects of my collection. When I really wanted to buy something makeup related, I did. I branched out. I worked on my blushes. I worked on my makeup brushes. I worked on my skincare and really got it, products that are go-to products and that are products that I love. All in all, forcing myself to not just buy things I like to buy, I really did round out my collection. I have products in every category that I love now, as opposed to having wonderful eyeshadow and hating the rest of my makeup collection. I actually did find a lot of products that I love, and I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to 2015 and getting to use some of the products. I still have to use some of the older products first. Yeah. At the end of the day, Makeup 2014 taught me that I am still bringing in too much makeup. It's not really something I want to hear. I thought, yeah, I'm going to do so amazing, and then I can just maybe go buy on I don't know, in my head I imagined myself like going to Sephora surrounded in shopping bags at the beginning of 2015 because I didn't have any more makeup left. No, that's not even close to what happened, but so I'm still bringing in too much product. I feel like I have a better grasp on it, and I really feel like doing this again in 2015, I think I'm going to set it up pretty much the same way. I have a few sort of offshoots planned, so I think I'm going to do like the basic setup of it the same way, and then kind of do some like focus categories that I didn't accomplish very much in 2014 as I wanted to. So yeah, I look forward to filming those videos and planning those videos for you guys, and I would love to know if you guys are doing any version, whatever you decide to call it. I'll probably stick with the Makeout 2015 just because I feel like people are pretty familiar with that. They kind of know what the ultimate goal is. So feel free to let me know if you're doing a Makeout 2015 or if you did a Makeout 2014, and I would love to know if you have any tips or any little tips that might help me structure it a little bit better. But yeah, I would love to see your videos, so let me know. My plan is to do a couple of updates throughout the year, but I'm going to structure it a little bit differently, so stay tuned. Subscribe if you would like to see how I do it, and I'll see you soon. Bye.